his shoes, cap and gown, the whole town gathered around. Waited 18 years, now it's all coming down to this. I scan the crowd and it fills my soul. My best friends all here in rows. No turning back, now it's time to walk that line. This tassel is gonna turn, but when the moment passes by, we'll just walk away, then slowly grow apart. But I'm not gonna cry, no, not one sad or happy tear. Well, I've waited my whole life. Now I'm gonna fly right out of here. It's a bittersweet goodbye, but I'm not gonna cry, no. Friday night, football games, first loves and first heartbreaks. It didn't matter who won or lost, only how we played. The memories as good as gold, tearing up those mountain roads, racing out 53 to old Georgia town. Sure, we've made a little trouble, but learned from every mistake, so there's no regret. We've done the best we could, so I'm not gonna cry. Not one sad or happy tear. Well, I've waited my whole life. Now I'm gonna fly right out of here. These have been the best years of my life, so I'm not gonna cry. It's been a long and winding journey, and we've lost a few along the way. Still we've hung in there through the tribulations. Now it's time to celebrate. It's our graduation day, yeah. So I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. No, not one sad or happy tear. I've waited my whole life. Now I'm gonna fly right out of here. This has been the best day of my life, so I'm not gonna cry. It's a bittersweet goodbye, and I'm not gonna cry. a celebration. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here. A dedication to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate and party with you. Come on now. Let's all celebrate and have a good time, yeah, yeah. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. Come on now. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright, baby. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright.
Welcome, everybody. In just a moment, the class of 24 is going to join us here in this stadium. They're going to cross the entire length of the track before heading to their seats. Please take pictures, wave, cheer, celebrate as we begin this momentous occasion. Once they're at their seats, we'll have the presentation of colors, so please stay standing for the high school chamber singers to sing the national anthem. And with that, if you would, you've already risen, so please join me in welcoming the class of 2024.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. You may be seated. That was a beautiful job, chamber singers, and that is some nice blue sky. Welcome, GHS, families, friends, and community members to this year's graduation ceremony. In particular, I'd like to welcome Superintendent Heather Perry, Assistant Superintendent Brian Porter, School Committee Chair Sarah Perkins, Vice Chair Stuart McAllister, and other school committee members Mia DeSantis and Nicole Yeo Fisher, Assistant Principal Christina Schiffelli, Class of 2024 Advisors Jessica Means and Kate Riker, our esteemed faculty and staff who are seated to my right, and our keynote speaker, Mr. David Willis. Additionally, I am compelled to thank a few people without whom this graduation ceremony would not be possible: Barbara Gagnon, Adam Parvanta, and Tom Hasbrook. Please join me in thanking them with a big round of applause. Of course, we are all here to celebrate this year's graduating class of 2024. This is a very exciting day for you and your family. In just over an hour, you will be Gorham High School graduates. Your journey through the first 18 years or so of your life, including your time in Gorham schools, I am certain has not always been easy. But you have demonstrated perseverance by overcoming whatever challenge laid before you. During the ceremony, I encourage you to reflect on your journey up to this point and consider the magnitude of what today represents for you, your family, and your future. It is a beautiful, awe-inspiring thing to contemplate the path that lays before you and the impact that each of you will have on this world. Family, community, humanity. Each of you has the potential and the promise to make a positive, indelible mark on the lives of those around you and beyond. You have made a big difference at GHS and in our Gorham community, and I know that you will make a difference in the world. You are an amazing group of people, some of the kindest I've ever met. Continue pursuing your dreams and doing what you can to make the world a better place for future generations. Think of all those bright-eyed elementary students you saw on Friday, so excited to see you. Continue finding ways to help people, show empathy, give peace, kindness, and love. Simply make our world a better place. I believe in you, and I know that you will make us proud. And at this time, it is my pleasure to invite Class President and Salutatorian Julia Wareham to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Jandro, and thank you, fellow graduates, family, friends, and faculty, for being here today to make this celebration of the last 4 years so incredibly special. I could not be more grateful for the opportunity to stand before you as both your class president and salutatorian. One last special thank you goes to our class advisors, Ms. Riker and Ms. Means, Abby Fecto, and my right-hand woman, Chloe Blanchard. I am the one standing up here today, but she is undeniably the foundation of this class and deserves to be recognized as such. Chloe, thank you for being the most amazing co-class president I could ever have. First of all, I would like to offer my warmest congratulations to each and every member of the class of 2024. I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this immensely supportive, successful, and inspiring group of students, and I look forward to seeing what the future holds. With such an impressive wealth of talent, from academics to athletics to the art, music, and theater programs, to our skilled camera crews, and to our Voc and Path students, it is evident that we will not only leave a lasting impact on GHS, but will impact our upcoming ventures as well. Over the last 4 years, we have faced serious adversity, overcome strenuous hardship, and grown in unexpected ways. I am extremely proud of the strength and perseverance we have displayed through seemingly impossible circumstances, yet more proud of our ability to become better people because of them. As I reflect on our past experiences, I am drawn to fond memories of our class supporting one another. All right, I think it's back. Okay. I'm drawn to fond memories of our class supporting one another. Packed student sections in the gym and standing ovations in the auditorium. Through all the stress and all the pressure and all the frustration that comes with being a high school student, there wasn't a moment when our dedication to each other faltered. And that's what makes this class so undeniably special. And now, after countless hours of hard work, dozens of sleepless nights, and too many days that seemed endless, let's take a minute to breathe. Before jumping into what's next, let's first appreciate the present. Let's be proud. Let's be joyful. Let's be excited for what we have achieved. We must recognize this huge accomplishment for ourselves. We'll forget the failed tests and crushing overtime defeats, but we won't forget the lessons we have learned throughout our journey. We have learned compassion goes a long way. Hard work will always triumph, and unity is the anchor of success. High school has molded us into strong, intelligent, and courageous individuals, and it is now our time to shine our light on the rest of the world. Before we begin our next adventures, I would like to share a little lesson I've learned over the last 4 years. This message is so meaningful to me that I wrote my college essay about it and have found it prominent enough to share with you all as well. I am so proud to be the person I am today, a complex mix of identities that I'm grateful to have, surrounded by people I couldn't live without. I am a proud sister, friend, daughter, classmate, captain, dog owner, student, and so much more. However, I would be remiss if I didn't also recognize a piece of me that occupies a crucial part of my identity. I am a survivor of suicide, and I say this to you all today with strength, not with sorrow. As I said, I am proud to be who I am today. Although it is unfathomable, to live a life without the extraordinary person that Riley was, and I would move mountains for her to be here with us today, the adversity that I faced in grieving her passing taught me something that I will never take for granted. But first, let's take a step back. My mom often reminds me of our mornings together when I was much younger. Holding back giggles, she recalls the way I woke up, a rat's nest in my hair so indescribable, she wonders what adventure I had taken during the 8 hours I spent in my own world, fast asleep. Her favorite part, however, is when I would stand up in my crib, reach my hands into the sky as far as I could stretch them, and smile the biggest smile you had ever seen before, ready to seize the day. This, she says, is her Julia, the girl who would never stop reaching for the sun. I loved school, I loved my friends, and I loved my life more than anything in the world. The hardest challenge I faced was taking the training wheels off my bike. And even when I fell, I was rewarded with a Capri Sun for trying. Let me assure you, life is not hard to love when you're sipping a cold Capri Sun on a hot summer day. I still love my life, even though my challenges might be tougher than getting a big kid bike. I'm an honest girl, though, so I won't lie to you in saying that losing my sister was extremely difficult. It would be for anyone. It changed my entire being, my perspective, my attitude, and even my expectations of myself. I found myself stuck in a cycle of control. My life started to live me, rather than vice versa. I lost my desire to learn and my excitement for school. My days were robotic. Eat, sleep, school, repeat. I was in the clubs, sports, and challenging classes that were supposed to spark my fire, but I was simply exhausting myself. I didn't expect anything less than perfection, and I often did too many things with barely enough time between them. I was on overdrive, and my system was starting to malfunction. I lost myself. But don't worry, that is not the girl you see here today. Eventually, I reconnected with that same little girl I used to be, arms outstretched, ready to seize the day. Stay with me, because this is where I might sound a little dramatic. For years, I had been repulsed every time I stared at my own written work. I know this probably sounds about as important as the training wheels issue, but I promise it actually did teach me something. I decided to stop throwing myself a pity party for my bad handwriting, and I put my hands to the test. Throughout my junior year, I chipped away at my penmanship, improving it quite literally letter by letter. It was extremely satisfying for me. Every time I felt a letter was complete and I could move on, it was a small success that pleased my 17-year-old self. It was finally something I could control. As I gradually saw improvement on the page, I began to place greater value in taking life at a slower pace. I don't need to be everywhere, do everything, and please everyone to leave an impact. When I changed my handwriting, I translated that triumph into my daily life. I began to regain control of myself just by taking it day by day, task by task, and letter by letter. Just a couple letters, and I was starting to find my fire. I know this sounds crazy, and honestly, it makes me laugh as I look back on how serious I was about fixing something so insignificant that I genuinely cared about so much. Nonetheless, on my journey to becoming a more aesthetic note-taker, I actually became a better, and more importantly, a happier person. Who would have thought? I never would have predicted that straightening the tail on my A or not adding a roof on my capital J would transform me the way it did. Through the minutia, the tedious process of remodeling each letter, I came to realize the importance of the little things. These small successes brought me back to the small girl standing tiptoe on my crib, smiling so hard my cheeks would begin to hurt. All right, if you've fallen asleep, clock back in because this is the important part of the message. After upgrading my alphabet, I realized that big change happens with small steps. And after surviving the loss of my beloved sister, I learned that the smallest steps make the most significant impact. Neither the world nor handwriting changes overnight. Appreciate the small steps it takes to make big changes. Celebrate even the tiniest successes and take each day as it is. Interestingly enough, you don't need to please someone else to be proud of yourself. Let that sink in. I literally changed my handwriting and could not have been prouder. Do you think anyone else on this planet cared whatsoever that I would place words just slightly neater on the page? Even my mom, who is the proudest mom in the world, I'm sure you've heard her on the sideline or at an academic awards ceremony, or even just having what she thinks is a quiet conversation. Kind of gave me that look like, great job, honey, really impressive letters. And it didn't matter, because the only person that needed to care was me. Weirdly enough, it actually is okay to be happy for yourself. Even the most minuscule victories. As we've heard hundreds of professional athletes say, a win's a win. It took me quite a while to learn that my success is not measured by other people's opinions of me. But now I know, and so should you. Use this perspective as you approach the next moments of your life. Live for you and no one else. My favorite quote is from President Theodore Roosevelt. Comparison is the thief of joy. To compare our victories to each other is only to lessen their value. I don't care if you walked a mile or ran a marathon, I'm sure at this point you can predict what I'm about to say. Be proud of your own accomplishments. Alas, GHS class of 2024, my parting words to you. Do what makes you happy, with the people who make you happy, in the place that makes you happy. Whatever your future endeavors consist of, make them count. Embrace life's challenges and face adversity head on. Minimize the time you spend comparing your success to that of others, and be sure to celebrate even the smallest of victories. Love yourself and those around you, and above all, be kind. And maybe, if you don't resonate with what I'm saying, just change a little thing, like your handwriting, and see what happens.
Great job. Really good.
Please join me in welcoming our class valedictorian, Ella Downing, to the stage.
I cried every single day of junior year, and most of sophomore year too. I was anxious, overwhelmed, and felt like every day would be the same boring monotony forever. Classes, field hockey, and work had all really begun to take a toll on me. I was struggling to believe that my life could be anything worthwhile or interesting, and I knew something had to change. I began to realize over the past 2 years that, to some degree, your happiness is in your own hands. Your attitude towards things can completely change your mood and the way you think. Once I started taking that into consideration and slowly reframing the way I perceived the world, I became a much more confident, cheerful, and capable person. Now, this change certainly didn't happen overnight, because honestly, part of it is just growing up and maturing, which takes time. The other part, the one I can attest to, is putting in the work for yourself, which is also definitely an extensive process. The first step I learned was to take time for myself. Sip that coffee slowly and enjoy it. Listen to the birds and smile at the neighbors walking their dogs. The world is a busy place, but even mentally, just taking 3 seconds for me to breathe and observe really changed the way I saw myself and my surroundings. The more we can take a step back and try to notice everything, the more positive and more confident of an attitude we can develop. Life can be pretty great if we slow ourselves down and just try to take everything in. It's not this graduation ceremony that will be my happiest or most powerful memory of high school. 30 years from now, I'll look back fondly and remember saying the date together in every French class, flipping coins very unsuccessfully in stats, and the study sessions before each AP Calc test where my friends and I would scream with joy if we managed to even get a single question right. It will be the determined warm-ups with the field hockey team and the cold early mornings exploring USM on our indoor track distance runs that will stick in my heart. Every little memory with all of these wonderful people made me happy. The second step I discovered is to appreciate the little things that bring me happiness. Each day can be made a good one with just one little thing. You just have to look for them. The little things will become your happiest memories and the reason you get out of bed each morning. And when it's hard for us to feel like life is worthwhile, let's try to find those little things that make each day special. Everybody at this stage in our lives tends to focus on meeting new people, experiencing new places, and forming new bonds. And that's certainly what I'm looking forward to also. They're all incredible things to do to help ourselves learn and grow. But I think it's just as important that we get to know ourselves. All you are granted in this life, for sure, is yourself. Family and friends can come and go, but you're stuck with you for as long as you live. So the third step I learned is to get to know and love the person you are. Learn your strengths and your weaknesses, your passions, the things that calm you down and the things that make you feel like fighting. As I've focused on getting to know myself, I've learned that a bag of Takis helps curb my anxiety when it starts to run rampant, that I stick my tongue out a lot when I'm focusing, and that I can get through just about anything with some hot lemon tea, silly reality TV shows, and chats with my work besties. Learn what gets you through the stressful times so that when you're faced with a challenge, you know exactly how to make yourself successful. Without thinking introspectively and really focusing on myself this year, I would have probably still been crying every day in school, lost and overwhelmed, and I definitely would not be on this stage today. A friend of mine once said to me, "If you spend all your time chasing butterflies, they're bound to fly away. If instead you invest that time into building a beautiful garden, tending to it with love and care, the butterflies will come. And even if they don't, you'll still be left with a beautiful garden." What they meant by this was that taking care of yourself, knowing and loving and working on yourself for you is building that lush garden. And with a beautiful garden, good things will come. As we move on from this last day together as a class and start to create lives for ourselves, I invite us all to focus on ourselves and bring an open, positive attitude towards these many new experiences we'll be having. Learn what little things in life can bring you joy. Don't spend forever waiting for some perfect person or experience to come along and make your life worth living. Build the garden. I wish you all the best, class of 2024. Thank you.
Great job.
And now I am honored to introduce our keynote speaker, 2002 GHS graduate, Mr. David Willis.
Awesome job. Thank you. Thank you. As I switch notebooks, I just want to ask everybody to offer a huge thank you to Principal Jandro, Mr. Spear, and the Facilities Department.
I was here 3 hours ago, and there was not a dry seat in the house. So what they've pulled off in the last 3 hours to allow this ceremony to be held outdoors today is amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Ella, and congratulations to the Gorham High School class of 2024. As Ella mentioned, my name is David Willis, Gorham High School class of 2002, and the second generation owner of a local business, Willis Real Estate. 22 years ago, I was exactly where all of you are today. And I can guarantee you, at that time, nobody thought about handing me a microphone to speak at graduation. I wasn't the best student in our graduating class, nor was I the best athlete. In fact, as my friends like to remind me, I wasn't even the best student or athlete in my own family. Those accolades belong to my sister, Jen Willis, class of 2004, who's sitting right up there today. If someone told me in June of 2002 that my story would lead me back to Gorham, running the family business, coaching middle school basketball, and maybe most of all, delivering a keynote speech at a Gorham High School graduation, I'd have looked them dead in the eyes and called them a liar. To properly understand my story, I have to introduce you to my first true love, basketball. Specifically, college basketball in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I had older cousins who attended Wake Forest and Duke, and will never forget one trip to North Carolina where I saw Tim Duncan play at Wake Forest and caught Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson at the Dean Dome on the campus of UNC. From that moment on, I knew where I wanted to attend college. I loved my time at Gorham High School and cherish so many memories from this place to this day. But my 4 years at GHS was spent with a pretty singular focus. The goal was to attend college in the ACC, hopefully at Wake Forest, get a great education, experience high-level college basketball all winter long, and after graduating, land a job in the Carolinas that would allow me to travel the country and possibly the world. As an 18-year-old senior in high school, I had my whole life figured out, or so I thought. Before I launch further into my story, I want to stop for a moment and ask you, the graduates, to indulge me. Take the next couple of seconds and picture in your mind where you will be 5 years from now. How about 10? And finally, what about 22? My hope today is to share with you 4 short stories from my life, they'll be short, and the lessons I learned that I wish I knew as I walked across this stage, ready to get out of Gorham, out of Maine, and ready to begin my next chapter at Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The first lesson I learned was that life is very rarely a straight line, and that is okay. Everything you just visualized may happen, but it also might not, and that is okay. The best thing you can do is chase your dreams and work your tail off to make them a reality, but know if you catch that dream and it isn't everything you imagined, you may find yourself with new dreams to chase. And remember, that is okay. In my case, it wasn't long after arriving at Wake Forest that I realized it wasn't the right fit for me. Don't get me wrong, the basketball was everything I dreamed of. I sat courtside for almost every home game as Wake went undefeated at home that season and won the ACC regular season title. Watching J.J. Redick at Duke and Deering graduate Nick Kaner-Medley, who was a freshman at Maryland at the time, were highlights of what otherwise was a tough winter in Winston-Salem. It turns out there's a lot more to college than watching college basketball. Who knew? Near the end of the first semester, I started to consider transferring, but was too embarrassed to speak about it. Wake Forest was what I worked for, and what so many people in my life helped me achieve. How could I give up on that dream? My path was set. Wouldn't deviating from that plan make me a failure? What I would have given at that time to know that my life was not intended to be a straight line, and that was okay. 18-year-old me, who thought he had everything all figured out, suddenly found himself realizing the very place I was so excited to get away from might actually be where my future story would unfold. It was at that time I made one of the hardest choices I've ever had to make and chose to transfer back to the University of Maine to pursue a business degree with an eye on going into real estate after graduating. Going to Wake Forest for a year was not a mistake, and transferring back to Maine did not make me a failure. These experiences, although not part of my original plan, helped shape the person I am today, and for that, I am thankful. My path was not intended to be a straight line, and I am better for it. After graduating from Orono in May of 2006, I returned to Gorham, ready to join the family real estate business and assumed the phone would start ringing off the hook just as soon as I stepped foot in the office. Print out some business cards, toss an ad in the Gorham Times, and we'd be off and running. Guess what? Didn't happen that way. I would wager some of you will make more at your summer jobs than I did my first year in real estate. It was humbling, and I thought about throwing in the towel more than once as the housing market crashed and the economy found itself in a slow rebuild. But I knew, deep down, this was what I wanted. For me to keep the dream alive, that meant hosting open houses at my parents' listings, answering the phones at the front desk, job sharing an office manager role, and one winter, I even mailed a local condo association and landed a half a dozen accounts shoveling their decks after snowstorms so that I could pay the bills while I built my book of business. I can assure you, shoveling snow-covered decks in freezing temperatures in Maine was not my dream. This time in my life taught me there is no shortcut to success. I assumed because my parents had a successful business and an established brand, things would come easy for me. What I learned was starting at the bottom was not a punishment, it was an opportunity. I learned our business from the inside out, formed a deep understanding of how our company operates at each level while building a base of knowledge and experience that would allow me to best serve my clients in the future. It forced me to place a higher value on networking and building relationships. We live in a microwave society. We want results. We want them now and often with as little effort as possible. But if your dream is worth chasing, it's worth working for. To quote the late Kobe Bryant, those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey. Some of you will enter the workforce immediately after walking across this stage. For others, it might be another 2 to 6 years. When your time comes, be prepared to start at the bottom and embrace the climb. Set your sights on where you want to be, but don't expect any of it to come easy, and definitely don't expect anything to be handed to you. Remember, starting at the bottom is not a punishment, it's an opportunity. Whenever I have the chance to share my story, I like to say it took me leaving Gorham to realize maybe, just maybe, my parents knew more than I gave them credit for. Gorham truly is a special place. What makes any community special? In my mind, it's the people. And Gorham is filled with amazing people who work tirelessly to make this a great community to grow up, work, and live in. Growing up in Gorham, I just assumed everywhere had an Officer Wayne Drown, or Pooch, as we knew him. Every community has a Sean Moody. And of course, every town has an Angelo. How can a town survive without an Angelo? I stand here to tell you these people don't exist everywhere. Not every community has school administrators and staff that create so many memorable moments for their graduating seniors the way Gorham does. For those of you who leave the area for college, ask your new friends about their school's senior scholarship night, the senior memory walk, or the graduation convoy. These things don't just happen, and I promise you, they don't happen everywhere. Now, I'm not telling you this in an attempt to convince you to live in Gorham after you graduate high school or college. I tell you this to say you have been a part of a special community. Take what you have learned and be a part of making your next community. Are we back? Nope. Testing. There we go. Take what you have learned and be a part of making your next community, wherever that might be, as special as the place you're from. I get it. It's not fair to expect you to be Pooch, Sean, or Angelo at 18 or 19 years old. But one of your fellow classmates spoke beautifully earlier this afternoon about the impact of small changes. Start by being kind to everyone you encounter in your life. Be compassionate. Help those around you in their time of need. These small acts can change someone else's life and will make your community better for having you a part of it. I consider myself lucky to have grown up in Gorham and hope all of you do too. I consider myself especially lucky to have the parents I did. If I told my story and painted myself as the hero, it would be a little like being born on third base and claiming you hit a triple. My parents are the true heroes of my story. They spent the majority of their adult lives working to create the best possible futures for Jen and myself. I can say, without hesitation, they supported my sister and I in everything we did and always pushed us to do our best. We were able to pursue our dreams because they encouraged and empowered us to do so. Through the way they lived their lives, they taught us the value of loyalty, honesty, hard work, and giving back to your community. My father, Paul Willis, has long been my hero and someone I aspire to emulate in the way I live my life. My mother, Jan Willis, was my best friend. 7 years ago, I lost my best friend to cancer. She was diagnosed, and roughly 90 days later, she was gone, way too early at the age of 64. It's been 7 years, and I still struggle to talk about it. My mom didn't get to attend my wedding or meet either of our children. I don't tell you this to make you sad or feel sorry for me. I tell you this because the loss of my mother changed the way I look at and approach life. I went from being someone who rarely said the words, "I love you," to the guy who tries to never end a call with my dad, sister, or wife without saying it. My boys are going to grow up with a dad who will tell them every day he loves them and is proud of them. I can assure you, this is not the way I was originally wired. Losing my mother has taught me to appreciate the small things in life and celebrate the little wins the same way we celebrate the big ones. Enjoy every single moment you have and make sure the people you are surrounded with know how much they are loved and appreciated. You did not reach this milestone on your own. There has been someone, maybe lots of people, who helped you achieve it. Over the course of the next few hours and days, you will receive lots of adulation and praise. But right now, I want you to take another moment. In a second, I'll give you a few, and think about some of those important people in your life that helped you get here. It might be a parent, grandparent, sibling, teacher, or coach. Please, don't leave it to chance. When you have a moment, maybe even later today, make it a point to thank them. Let them know how important they have been to your story and how much you love and appreciate them. I want to close by thanking Principal Gendreau and the senior class for this opportunity. It has truly been an honor to address all of you as you take the next step in your own story. I tell you with a high level of confidence that your time in the Gorham school system has you well prepared for your next step, wherever that may take you. As you head out on your path, remember, it may not be a straight line, and that is okay. If you have a dream, fight for it, even if that means short-term sacrifice. Aspire to be someone that makes the community you call home a better place. And finally, celebrate this achievement and all the other milestones to come in your life with the people you love. Congratulations, Gorham High School, class of 2024.
Great job.
Julia Cutter Wareham. Chloe Lynn Blanchard. Abigail Celeste Fecto. Nico Gagne.
Tell me when to go. Jean-David Bassimois.
Brady Michael Mercier. Sydney Berquist Guimond. Caden Alexander Trefethen. Landon Michael Eugene Parody. Amy Morin. Elsie Mae Bradshaw. Brendan Troy Anktel. Bennett Walker. Bryce Lee Pyle. Zachary Martin Waters. Brooke Jepson Farquhar. Ella Downing. Nicholas Tinkham. Lauren Elizabeth Pierce. Lillian Grace Minor. Michael DeStasio. Alex Robbins. Kira Keniston. Emily Elsie Lamont. Christian Patrick Randall. Patrick Robert Delaney. Thomas J. Curtis. Isaac Young. Ethan Kastongi. Sam Parento.
Emily Bennett. Andy Cloutier. Amber Marie Breton. Caitlin Alice Nichols. Michaela Joy Quintal. Elizabeth Phyllis Gay. Macy Lee Brenner. Anna Rose Yawak. Erica Grace Nygren. Aiden S. Fortier. Alicia Lynn Poschke. Kylie Brienne Staples. Hannah Carried Bickford. Sophia Christina DeFilippo. Montana Marie Leslie. Luke H. Lovely. Willan Orly Iterateka. Cecile Promise Zanenka. Mia Faith Mitchell. Anna Claire Dumais. Natalie Jane Haskell. Kaylee Crystal Gonville. Samantha Davis. Jordan Sinnett. James Michael Morrison. Dylan Michael Bauer. Ariana Rose Morse. Liana LeMay. Liliana Noel. Jaden Nicole Fortigiano. Logan Conrad Sargent. Brady D'Ambrosio.
Emma Lovewell Smith. Lily Kristen Rubin. Alexis Deshane. Paige Josephine Peralt. Cole Jeffrey Whitehead. Caroline Marie Morrill. Grace Catherine Desmond. Zoe Josephine Coleman. Giselle Ariana Doucette. Dakota Ann Coyne. Ella Rosemary Labrie. Kate Marie Arricchio. Rita Caroline Cummings. Cameron Rose Caruso. Merrick Selena Llewellyn. Addison Rose Hargela. Landon Turgeon. Jonathan Steen. Gretchen Wilichowski Dixon. Brazel Smith. Berlin Nicole Jenkins. Lillian Grace Prather. Samantha Whitten. Elizabeth Thurston. Sophie Eliza Gunn. Addison T. Canty. Eleanor Ilaria Labarge Avellino. Olivia Ann Spickle. Ethan Homa. Emerson Homa.
Marissa Elizabeth Reno. Kaylin Elizabeth Curtis. Ella Lillian Major. Jaden Xavier Moore. Bryn Claire Irish. Jack Aiden DeCrow. Cruz James Labrie. Owen Jasper Duplessis. Lydia Grace Fluitt. Hillary Ashley Douglas. Lily Ann McDonald. Janitra M. Lee. Ava Spitzinger. McKenna Page Wheeler. Cole Allen. Corliss Ordway. Tyson Tahoe Leslie. Jack Luciano. Hayden Pelletier. Taylor Farr. Ashton LeClaire. Gabriel Michaud. Christopher Bolton. Caleb Reed. Wesley Ziggy McCunzie. Jesse James. Jackson Landry. Dylan Edwards. Riley Otteson. Cole Smith. Aiden Lee. Caden Smith.
Logan Vale. Luke Burns. Ethan Sadowski. Caleb Thorpe. Hadley K. Scaplin. Libby Rosemary Merrill. Claire Boudreau. Zoe Rand. Jenna Pequeno. Emily Donnelly. Brayson Reed. Tristan Smith. Summer Reese Gammon. Lillian Marley Andresen. Jacob John Mora. Aislinn Mary McLean. Adam David Webster. Trevor John Kraus. Nolan Filer. Elijah Castro. Mason Starkey. Caitlin Edvina Foss.
Murtada Muhammad Abdullah Bashir Ahmed Mansour Shueta.
Mohammed El Tayeb El Shafi. Gibson Baker. Jaden Towns. William Price. Samuel Minchev. Aiden Garrett. Noah Vaughn. Alec Pulio. Aiden James French.
Safety pin.
We fixed them before they came out here, though.
Kaylin Ballard. Evelyn Densmore. Olivia Sawyer. Sophia Fates. Zachary Clark Irish. Brady Arsenault. Jason Verrill. Noah Kennedy. JT Morrill. Elizabeth Louise Rose Finney. Eris Ame Cook. Cole Drinkwine. It's spelled wrong. Charlie June Franklin. Cam Trott. Tristan Powell. Gage Cathcart. John Small. Bodie Bragdon. Logan Andrew Martell. Seth Terrio. Caden Lavoie. Colby Carroll. Maddie Stewart. Alex Chase. Colin Page. Lean Bob. Joshua Wright. Cove Chubbuck. Kai Armstrong. Nathan Berquist Guimond. Austin Stoddard. Dylan Cummings. Sean Barrell. Xavier Severance.
Kendra Betterline. Hayden Lee Lavasser. Samantha Barlow. Corey Lorfano. Kylie Ray Mack. Lindsay Stephanie Curran. Cooper Henderson. Ryder Pollard. Dayton Crockett. Cameron Whittemore. Faith Warren. Yuyu Al-Mukhtar. Ty Hanscom. Jackson Brassard. Dylan Phillips. Sheldon Michael Dyer. Gabriel Badeau. Isabel Wheaton Connors. Isaac Dobson. Tommy Pritchard. James McCall. Cleveland Small. Corey Coyne.
All right, go sing your class song.
To find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah. what friends are supposed to do. Oh yeah. Because I can count on you.
Congratulations to the class of 2024. You are officially graduated. Good job. Thank you very much. That was fun. That was fun. That was a good one.
Sometimes my tries are outside the line. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. No. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate.